Sony wants you to believe nobody's buying physical games anymore. That digital's just what people want now.
It's the future. It's inevitable. Get over it.
But there's one problem with that story, and it's sitting right there on their own website. Welcome back, everybody. And if you're new here, what's good? What's good? I'm Tommy Graham, and welcome to this side of the internet. Today, we're going to be talking about how PlayStation is manufacturing a narrative using cooked numbers and manufactured scarcity to justify killing physical media by 2028. So if you look here under their website, the disk drive for PS5 Digital Edition consoles, due to high demand, there is a limit of 1 per order. High demand.
Attention. Important notice. From January 2028, newly released games on PlayStation will be available for purchase on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital format only. Disc for games released before January 2028 can continue to be played on this console.
That's pretty crazy due to high demand for a product they say nobody wants. Let's start with what Sony actually said on their own blog post. All right, here it is. Headline. In response to shifting trends in consumer preferences, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and retailers in digital formats only. So, in my opinion, this is what's going to happen. They're going to have cards with a number on it, just like you buy V-Bucks at the grocery store or shark cards for GTA Online. Let's read further here. As consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical disc to digital, physical game disc production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this data, new games will be available on the PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital format only. This transition has no impact on games that already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in disc format. Good to know. I guess. I mean, that sounds reasonable, right? Consumer preferences. The industry is shifting. Like it's just happening naturally. And Sony's simply responding to what we all want. Except that's not actually what the sales data says. Here's the trick, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Sony is citing software sales, digital game purchases, which sits at about 85% leaning towards digital. That number is real. Nobody's arguing that. But when it comes to actual console sales, the hardware, the box, the thing you plug everything into. This is an article on Insider Gaming by Mike Straw. Okay, October 23rd, 2024. Disc editions make up to 82% of all PS5 console sales. According to the latest data from Circina, 82% of lifetime sales of the PS5 are those with a disc drive. That puts digital-only consoles at just 18% of total sales. Sony has made the push in recent years for players to move to the digital-only version of their system. Not only does the company charge less for the digital-only PS5, but the new PS5 Pro only comes in the digital version. In order to play discs, you have to buy the disc drive separately, adding more to your cost. That said, it appears that so far, at least, players are okay with spending a little extra for the option to play physical media on their console. And while a digital-only future seems likely for games, it doesn't look like gamers are ready to fully go that route yet. I mean, that's what I'm seeing here. 82% of every PS5 ever sold has been the disc edition. Only 18% has been digital. Sony's taking a true number about software and using it to justify killing hardware that people overwhelmingly still choose to buy with the disc drive in it. And that's not an accident. That's not rounding an error. That's a company picking a stat that tells the story they want to tell and hoping that you don't ask ask which number they're actually talking about. So if physical is really dying, why are the external drives for the digital edition and PS5 Pro capped at 1 per customer due to high demand? Here's my take, and yeah, I'll say it plainly. This is gaslighting. Sony is restricting supply on the one product that would let digital edition owners still buy physical games. So that points to there being a high demand and a possible shortage of supply. Maybe they're trying to stop scalpers or something, but that's not really how I'm reading it. And then they go and turn around and tell a story that consumers just aren't interested in physical media anymore. You can't have it both ways. You can't limit a product to 1 per customer and claim nobody wants it. Pick one. That just really doesn't make sense. This really isn't about disc versus digital. It's about ownership versus licensing. When you own a physical copy that doesn't require connection to the internet, a gold master, you own it. You can resell it, lend it, keep it forever, regardless whether a server is still running in 15 years. Sony has been hacked before. Companies have shut down storefronts. Accounts get banned. If everything is digital and something goes wrong on their end, you're not just locked out of one game. You're locked out of your entire library that you paid for. And yeah, you might have the game saved on an SSD. Let's be honest here. The proof is in the pudding. They just want control. And those digital bootlickers love to say discs take up space. Digital is just more convenient. And let's talk about SSD prices, because we're talking about fully installing these massive games to your storage, right? That is, if that's what they're going to be doing, which honestly, I think they're going to be trying to get you to subscribe to PlayStation Plus and stream these all via the internet. But anyways, let's talk price. The SSD storage you need to hold a digital-only library at today's file sizes costs more than the shelf space it's replacing. And that is if they're going to be having people download them to an SSD on your actual console. My theory is they're going to lean way more towards streaming instead of purchasing and downloading the game onto your console. This ties into two things I'm covering separately, so go check those out when they drop, and this is one of them. Sony just pulled 551 Studio Canal movies from UK PlayStation libraries. No refunds. That's what you don't own it looks like in practice. And if people are a little bit iffy on, okay, maybe they won't do this, maybe they're not going to head in this direction, maybe they'll change their mind with all the outrage. Sony's actual disc manufacturing plant in Austria isn't just closing, it's being converted into an optical micro lens factory for AI data centers. 34 million euros invested. That's not a company retreating from physical media because consumers ask them to. That's a company redirecting its manufacturing bet towards server infrastructure. So no, I don't think PlayStation 6 ships with a disk drive. And at the price point that this thing is rumored to land at, when you could buy a PC for the same money that runs circles around it, Sony is betting a lot of loyalty on a console with a first-party lineup that lately hasn't exactly been inspiring confidence either. Physical isn't dead because customers stopped wanting it. It's dying because it's being killed off on paper, while actual sales numbers say otherwise. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you want the receipts on the Studio Canal situation, that video's coming up, so make sure you subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.